Welcome to Here We Are, the mindful podcast for millennials, where it's all about remembering where we've been, knowing where we're going, and taking up space in the present through the art of storytelling. I'm your host, Teka. I'll tie together the practice of presence, life lessons, and mental health nuggets too. Whether sharing my own experiences or featuring a special guest, I hope to inspire you to take control of your story and take control of your life. I hope you receive what you need from today's episode. And remember to check out the show notes in the description for links that I reference. Ready? Let's journey. Hello. Oh my gosh, this is so exciting. Welcome to the Here We Are podcast. I'm your host, Teka, and this is a leap of faith for me. I have had the idea to have a podcast for so long. Friends will tell you since like 2020. Thank you so much to my friends JL and Caesar actually for investing in my dream and purchasing my first podcast mic. I am here, you all, to really just share the healing and the art of storytelling. It is so great that we can use what we've experienced to inform where we are now and where we want to go. You know how they say, you don't know where you're going if you don't know where you've been. That is the premise. That is the foundation. That is the purpose of this podcast. So I want to start us off with our first segment, which is about gratitude. It is called Gift. The G stands for gratitude or goal. The I stands for intention. The F is for focus or faith. And the T is for take action. Now, the reason that I use this, gift acronym is because I myself have had difficulty with gratitude. 2022 was a really busy year where I did not feel very grounded. I had a lot going on, and from the outside looking in, everything was perfect, but it wasn't. And so I had a hard time being grateful. And so I use this acronym. I created this acronym not only for myself, but for clients that I work with. So when I think about gratitude or when I think about a goal, it reminds me to broaden my perspective. Oftentimes when we are stressed, we're going through a lot, when life seems to be overwhelming, we can only focus on the problem. Gratitude helps us to broaden our perspective, maybe even shift our perspective to something else. So gratitude for me today is I'm so grateful for life. I'm grateful for breath, and I'm grateful for tea, hot tea, because I'm going to be talking a lot today. And so I'm grateful that I have hot tea. My intention is to really be imperfect, to release any perfection, any comparison to other podcasters, any beliefs that I have to do this a certain way in order for it to be received. My intention is to be imperfect. Focus. What's my focus today? So my focus today, or faith, I'll do focus. My focus today is to explain every segment of the podcast so that those of you who are listening have an idea of what we're going to be doing and why. And then I have faith. I have faith that it'll be received. I have faith that it is aligned. I have faith that those that need to hear it, that it will touch, and that just the introduction alone will be what someone needs to hear to come back. So take action. Take action. First practical take action. Tika, girl, edit this episode on time so you can launch the podcast. Another take action is to use social media. I am going to be using social media to post clips of the podcast, to post graphics, to post any type of real life updates. So yeah, that is my take action for myself. I want you to practice this as well. Think of it as every day is a gift. Right? Every day is a GIFT. What is my gratitude or goal for the day? What intention do I want to set for the day? Where is my focus? Or maybe where do I need to have faith? And then how do I want to take action? All right. All right, cool. The story. Okay, so first of all, I am a mental health therapist by trade, but I definitely believe I'm a creative. I'm an encourager. I am someone who really enjoys getting to know the deepest parts of people, not for the sake of just having that information, but really for the sake of understanding their story. What is it that informs who we are and why we are, why we do what we do. So my story is what I'm going to share first. When I began storytelling, I would say that it was well before I launched my blog. I have a blog, Teka.com, and I launched that in 2016, so over 7 years ago. Before that blog, I was the type of, young adult kid who enjoyed Tumblr. Hey, so for all of my millennials, I guess Gen Z was there too, but this is like Tumblr back in like the early or late 2000s, early 2010s. So I was a college student when I was on Tumblr, and that was a space where I feel like I had the safety to share different stories. At least in that season of my life, whether it be posting certain pictures, poems. Oh my gosh, poems was my thing. I want to get back into poetry, or even just free thought, just dumping my thoughts there. Tumblr seemed to be a space where everyone was just like, hey, come and be who you are. You're fully accepted. We're here for the vibes. We're here for the aesthetic. Let's go. Let's do it. After Tumblr, I think that's when, blogging, vlogging, all of that on YouTube became so huge. And I knew that I wanted to kind of pursue that. So I had a natural hair YouTube where I was sharing the story of my natural hair journey. Ugh. That was under the name The Natural Tea with 2 L's in natural. So if you dare find that on YouTube, have fun. That was another space though. It was natural hair, but I also did some things like preparing for an interview. I would have to go back and look. I don't know all of the things I shared on there that weren't hair related, but yeah, another space to share my story. And then came the blog. If you ask my mom, I'm sure she can pull out for you the stories that I wrote in elementary school, the projects I worked on in middle school. I'm sure my English and creative writing teachers will tell you I was always creative, but I was also lazy when it came to doing my assignments. But I had an imagination and I had the insight. And so I think that is what it took for me to tell my story. But it also takes, what I'm using right now, courage. It takes courage to really look back and not judge yourself, to accept kind of what happened, whether it was what happened to you or something that you did, and to also learn from it. So that is the point of Here We Are, to be present, to say, okay, I can look back on what I experienced and let it inform what I do or don't want to do moving forward. But I'm not going to stay there. I'm going to be here. I'm going to be here. What's the lesson from that story? The lesson from me even just telling you that story just now is to keep going, to keep living, to keep writing, to keep sharing, and know that you're the author of your story. You control the narrative. How does this tie in to what it is that I do every day as a mental health therapist? Well, our beliefs, the thoughts that we have, they are connected to origin stories. Some call them flashpoints. Some may even call them triggers. What is it that created that belief? When you identify where certain beliefs about yourself, other people, the world came from, you have the option to rewrite the story. And I don't mean rewrite the story as in literally rewrite history, because we know America is good for that, revisionist history. Ugh. But I mean, take control over the narrative, take control over what you tell yourself. If you experience something like walking down the street and you saw a dog running towards you, maybe your initial thought was, ooh, that dog is dangerous, because you might have saw someone get maybe bit by a dog when you were a kid. But you get to rewrite the narrative. You get to say, actually, maybe that dog is excited. Maybe that dog is coming to greet me. And that can change the entire way that you feel about that dog. You get it? All right. I want to close out because it's already been almost 10 minutes, and this is just supposed to be an introduction, y'all. I'm going to share in the description below, of course, the links to the Instagram for Here We Are, a way for you to get in touch with us if you want to email us at Here We Are and share your story if you want to be a guest. I have friends that I'm going to invite, but hey, I also have like internet friends and cousins and siblings and stuff, so y'all can come on too. We can work it out. But I'm really excited to connect with y'all. I am really proud of myself actually for recording this. I hope my voice doesn't sound crazy to y'all because it sounds crazy to me. And yeah, that's it. Y'all really take care of yourself. Know that everything that you desire is yours. You just have to make room for it. And stay present. Breathe in the now. Stay here. Bye. Thank y'all so much for listening to Here We Are, the mindful podcast for millennials. Let's connect on Instagram at the Here We Are Pod and on YouTube at Here We Are Pod. If you're loving the podcast so far, I'd be so honored if you go ahead and hit that subscribe button and leave me a review. Remember, breathe in the present moment. Take care.